One of the most stressful thoughts bar takers have during an essay is this: I've never seen this issue before. You scan your outline in your head, but nothing matches perfectly. Panic starts to creep in. Let me tell you this clearly. This situation is not a disaster. In fact, how you handle unfamiliar issues often separates passing answers from failing ones. First, we need to fix a misunderstanding. The bar exam does not expect you to memorize every possible rule, and it does not test rare exotic doctrines in isolation. What it really tests is this: can you reason like a lawyer when the rule is not obvious? In real legal practice, you constantly face problems without clear rules. The bar exam knows this. So when you see an unfamiliar issue, do not freeze. Switch your mindset. Instead of asking, "What is the exact rule?" ask this: what is the legal problem here? Is someone being harmed? Is a right being limited? Is power being abused? Is there unfairness or risk? These questions are universal. They apply even when the label of the issue is unclear. Next, connect the problem to the closest outline category you know. You do not need a perfect match. You need a reasonable one. For example, if someone is misled, you might think about fraud, misrepresentation, or fairness doctrines. If the government is involved, you think about due process, equal protection, or standards of review. This is called reasoning by analogy, and it is exactly what lawyers do. Now let's talk about rules. When you don't know the exact rule, you are allowed to articulate a reasonable rule. A reasonable rule usually has three parts: a purpose, a condition, and a consequence. For example, to prevent unfair harm, the law generally requires X, and if X is missing, then Y results. This is not guessing. This is structured reasoning. Bar graders are trained to reward clear logic, even if the rule is not perfectly phrased. What they cannot reward is silence. Not writing anything is always worse than writing a reasonable analysis. Another important point: most unfamiliar issues are unfamiliar to everyone. You are not uniquely behind. If an issue feels unexpected to you, it likely feels unexpected to the majority of test takers. That means the grading curve accounts for uncertainty. You are not required to be brilliant. You are required to be reasonable. Here's a practical technique. When faced with a strange issue, write a short transition sentence like this: although there is no clear rule, courts would likely consider. This signals to the grader that you understand the ambiguity and are reasoning through it. Then apply the facts carefully. Explain both sides if possible. Show balance. Show judgment. That alone earns credibility. Finally, remember this: outlines are tools, not cages. They guide your thinking, but they do not limit your analysis. If you rely too rigidly on memorization, unexpected issues feel terrifying. But if you understand why rules exist, you can adapt. To summarize, when an issue is not in your outline, do not panic. Do not stop writing. Identify the legal problem. Map it to the closest category. Articulate a reasonable rule. Apply the facts logically. The bar exam is not testing perfection. It is testing professional judgment. And judgment can be demonstrated even without a memorized rule.